Aha! Yes, we're live. I see me on the screen and everything. Sweet. How's it going? You join me in a very sweaty room. It's currently what could only be described as hot as balls in the UK right now. So yeah, if I look sweaty and very distasteful, then that's why. Right, yeah, we've got people in the chat and shit. Very nice. Cool. What's up? So this is I guess sort of a live Q&A thing. I've been doing a Q&A on the Instagram stories as well, but it's spreading. We're now on the YouTube channel. Yeah, my EP just came out. Our Flame was out yesterday, I guess, but the full thing is up everywhere today. So yeah, basically feel free to start asking questions and I will answer them. Anything kind of specific to the EP would be cool. Yeah, because that's generally the idea of the stream. Right, we're getting questions. We have people saying hello Chomi as well. Cool. New EP is sick. Thank you very much. Yes, I've been told that super chats are available, and by super chatting you are supporting me as well. So if you want to super chat, feel free. Right, we got questions. Let me see, where do we start? Is the melody in the second drop of Unicorn Blood just wet delay? Sort of. So it's like a really simple like sine wave pluck that I made in Massive, and most of the thing that makes it sound cool is just the reverb that I use, which is Valhalla Vintage Verb, and it's got like a big delay on it. So it feels like a delay, but it's actually like a room verb impulse that's just happening like slightly after. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. It's very simple. What are you using for producing? FL Studio, Ableton, etc.? Yeah, everyone uses those. I use Logic X. I did use Logic 9 famously on the old Disciple tutorials, but no, I'm on Logic X now. I've upgraded. What is your favorite track from your new EP? Unicorn Blood, the first one. Yeah, it's just really fun to make, and that's kind of the first tune that I really delved into using some kind of new sound design techniques. I was doing some vocoding and all kind of harmonization goodness. So that was cool. And then I came up with the concept of Unicorn Blood. I just thought that sounded like a cool title. And then from there, yeah, I posted on Twitter. I was like, because I was trying to find a sample of somebody saying the word unicorn so I could use it for before the drop. And I had this idea of having it be like kind of a kawaii sort of vocal and then have blood like straight after. And yeah, so I couldn't find anything. So I just posted on Twitter, like, whoever can do this gets to be in a Chime tune. And then Miss Lena like gave me a bunch of different takes of it that was just like exactly what I was looking for. And then we decided to throw vocals on as well and make it like a full feature. So yeah, it was just generally super fun to work on. Let's see. What about Chime Serum Presets Pack? So I've given away one of those. I did like a UK Wobbles kind of one on my Patreon. Generally, I'm going to be giving stuff away on my Patreon, but occasionally I'll do like public ones as well. Yeah. Oh shit, I'm going right to the bottom of the thing. Let's see. There's lots of Chime happening here. Okay. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Rage Dasher. It's an honor to be here for me as well. Favorite song? Wait, I just answered that. How do you go about starting a project? Shit, man. There's loads of different ways. Sometimes it kind of comes together from a specific like synth patch. Sometimes it comes together from, I don't know, like a rhythm, or sometimes I'll beatbox some shit into my voice memos on my phone and just kind of go from there. So examples of that are like Your Eyes was a beatbox into my phone one, Double Jump as well. I got a couple that are voice memos that I need to make into tunes. Yeah, there's loads of different starting points really. How are you? I'm very good. I'm good today, but it's warm. I do not do well in the heat, not in any way. And I live in the UK where all of our houses are built to insulate. and have no air conditioning. So it's yeah, I'm good, but I'm warm. Do you jump between DAWs or stick to one? I have used Logic since I started making music, really. Logic 9, and then recently, I guess within the last year, Logic X. So I was really hanging on to the Logic 9 for a while. What are you using for producing? I already answered that. Chime and Virtual Riot. Yes, I'd definitely like to make that happen. Especially since he's kind of diving into that sort of melodic-y rhythm stuff. That's quite exciting to see him like give that a go and take influence from that. So yeah, I'll try and make it happen at some point, but he's a busy guy. New EP was great, but I think it pales in comparison to Experience Points EP. Fair enough. Completely different vibes, really. Like, I was listening back to a couple of my EPs today, actually, just to kind of compare. Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different thing, really. Definitely more focused into the kind of Disciple sound and more sort of modern rhythmy stuff than that EP. But yeah. Chime and Temanite again when? We actually have 2 different collabs, but they're trio collabs, and we're on both of them. We're waiting on the third person to work on it. So it'll happen. It'll happen. Don't worry. How do you design the bass from Unicorn Blood? There's a lot of different basses. You're gonna have to be more specific. But that kind of main like harmonic swipe thing, I think I vocoded a super saw, and I used as an impulse, I used like a wobble sound to make it kind of modulate. And I won't be doing it again because it was way too complicated. New EP is tight. Any tight. Temanite and Sonar collabs coming up. So I already mentioned the Temanite one. Sonar, yes, definitely there will be a collab. We just need to find the right tune. Like every time we try to make something, it's just kind of not quite sat the right way. But it's gonna happen. And what is your next? Let's see. I remember when you asked everyone on Twitter to give you a unicorn vocal. Yeah, there we go. That was exactly what happened. Are you going to release more stuff after the EP? Well, yeah. I'm not just done. It's not my final thing I'm putting out. Yeah, there's going to be... What the hell have I got coming up? Might be a little while until we have another release, but I got this stuff coming. What helped you grow when you started out? So I think my initial kind of popularity in terms of music production was actually, I did like a couple of Minecraft remixes back with my cousin as Caution and Crisis. And that was the first thing that kind of blew up a little bit on YouTube. And I think they used it in like the official PS3 advert for Minecraft, which was like, oh shit. Yeah, and then it's sort of, then there was the December days where I was gaining kind of a lot of my following, because I was trying kind of mixing in the similar circles as kind of like Spaghetti and Ehide and Temanite and stuff and Different Heaven. I was trying to kind of be a part of that group a little bit. So I got a lot of followers from some of the collabs I did back then, and also dubstep.net was like a big thing. Yeah, so that was kind of where I started, really. Let's see. There's a lot of people just spamming Virtual Riot and Chime. No, it's just the same guy. Are you guys going to let us remix Our Flame? Oh, that's from Focused, which is a mate of mine. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to give out stems. It depends on what the Disciple guys say, because like, there's been a lot of remix competition stuff going on recently. They might be a little bit done with the remixes. But yeah, I'm always down to give out stems for my tunes. How old are you? I am 26. Hashtag put on weight, not age. What is your next Disciple EP? I don't know yet, man. What helped you grow when you started out? Already answered that. I was listening to the EP as I was running, really kept me going, from Rob. Cool. I like hearing these kind of little stories about how people listen to my music in different circumstances. What's the story behind the EP itself? well, let's get into it. So, yeah, I've had a couple of questions about the sort of concepts behind the EP. So, in Interdimensional, which was the last Disciple EP, was about, you know, crossing into different dimensions. So each of the tracks kind of reference that. Interdimensional being the title track, and it was like, I just wanted to make something that sounded like going through portals and all kinds of shit. And it was interdimensional as well because it was me and Ace Aura just merging like heavy rhythm stuff and melodic stuff. And generally, I've got a lot of tunes that are kind of about that, like featherweight, where, you know, feather is the floaty stuff and weight is the heaviness. Like, I just love that region in between. That's where dubstep gets like really interesting for me. Anyway, way off course. Interdimensional was about that. Our Flame is about so the flame represents sort of everything that I feel is getting overlooked in dubstep right now. So that could be, you know, some old school vibes from dubstep that people have just abandoned, and it's like, whoa, but these were cool, guys. We can do stuff with these. So like old like UK dubstep vibes, which is why the title track Our Flame is kind of based on that sort of 2012, 2011 sort of style. Excuse me while I adjust my seat. What the hell was I saying just then? Story behind the EP. Yeah, so fuck, hold on. When it gets warm, my brain does not compute. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, EP. Story behind the EP. Yes, Our Flame. Fuck. I've been answering questions all day and it's just like gone now. Yes, everything that people are kind of sleeping on the scene. So that could be old school vibes, or it could be the new stuff, which is kind of like the melodic future rhythm business. Like, so that's what I explored with this EP. And I'm thinking of exploring it further, the kind of theme of that flame in a future EP. We'll see if that happens. We have a super chat. We have from Jinx. Your sound design is such an inspiration. Shout me out. I have an EP out, coming out soon. Sinlick Music. Shout out Sinlick Music. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words and your donation. Shit, I gotta find my place now. Can you tell I'm not a streamer, guys? Can you tell? I've got a lot of repeat questions here. So I'm trying to find some new ones. Can you say taco? There we go. I've said taco. I'm gonna take the headphones off because this is making me warm. Right. Just more Chime and VR. Just a lot of that. Yeah. How old are you? Answered that. Logic rules. Yes, it does. Sure does. Chime and pegboard nerds. That almost happened multiple times, like years ago. And I'd love it to happen, but they always get super busy and it just doesn't happen. When is the Sharks collab coming out? I really want to hear it. Yeah, so when it's finished, man, like, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of burnt out on that tune very, very quickly. So I'll need to come back to it at some point and suddenly have ideas again and kind of go from there. Let's see. How long have you been producing? I'd say it depends when you define the start. Because when I first opened GarageBand, might have been 2008. But that was just pissing about with loops and stuff and making stupid tunes. So I'd say more seriously since about 2010. So it's a decade of producing. It's a long time. Chime, will you be back on NCS soon? Possibly. Depends if they're kind of like in some of these new tunes they're making. A lot of repeat questions. Oh, we got another super chat thing. Have they left a message, or is it literally just a unicorn? It's a unicorn. Well, thank you so much for that unicorn. It's lovely. Yeah, I'm getting like loads of repeat questions. Stop spamming, you're annoying. I agree. It's how the hell am I supposed to keep track of these? Can you spell iCup? Yes, I know the joke. Someone's laughing at the way I say taco. Is it because I'm supposed to say taco like an American? Is that what you want? Right. Okay, I found some new questions. Bloody hell. Oh man. Now all the new questions are here. I'm just gonna start picking some out. If I don't get to your question, just post it again. Oh shit, well then you're gonna spam the chat. Fuck. Okay. Have you ever wanted to try NSD as well? Never say die. Yeah. I think sort of more recently though, they're going in a completely different path to like the way I am with my music. I did technically release on there. I remixed Xylant's tune Run, and that did technically release as a little like free download thing. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I work with one of the guys who's releasing on NSD, but I don't see them really being interested in my music too much. Unless they are, I don't know. Let me know, guys. Is your Psytrance song preview on Twitter will it be a full song? Yes, of course. Everything I preview, I try to finish. Yeah, so yeah, that's a full one. It's finished. It's gonna come out. Don't you worry. Shit me, there's like loads of new questions now. Chime and Marauder. Yeah, that would be weird. That'd be interesting though. I'm always down to like work with whoever the hell. If they make anything closely resembling dubstep, then yeah. Man, I'm just gonna start picking up some of these because I can't find the point where I've gotten to. The questions are just going mental. Right, okay. Chime and Myro, that would be sweet. We need another Chime and Ace Aura. Yes, we do. I mean, that's definitely going to happen at some point. And now I'm hitting all the repeats again. This chat is like boggling my mind. How did you find out about the song Masks when you remixed it? Yeah, that's kind of an obscure one. It was suggested by my management. My main manager is Korean, and he works with some other Korean artists, and the original was from a Korean like pop person, so I remixed it. Do you like cheese? Yes, I do. How did you find your style? Oh shit, we got another super chat. Jinx, it's another Jinx one. Any serum tips for creating new sounds that reflects only you and stands out from everyone? So the main thing I do when I'm making a sound in Serum is usually I'm just going for those kind of screechy tonal things. I try to make everything tonal in some way because I find that just the most satisfying kind of dubstep sounds to listen to. So a lot of kind of flange filters, phase filters, a lot of just kind of modulating to try and find sweet spots and movement. Anything kind of screechy and cool. But really a lot of what makes my sound design sort of chimey now is the layering and that sort of thing. So like on Game Break, you've got those stabby kind of pretty atonal basses from Wales, but I kind of fleshed them out with sort of chiptune ups and other bits and pieces and kind of screechy sounds to make it feel more that kind of magic chimey goodness. So hopefully that answers your question, and thanks for the super chat. Right, bloody hell. Favorite Rushdown release? Yeah, so Rushdown is my sort of is my label where I try and I release like a lot of stuff kind of similar to my own music, where it's more melodic. Yeah, and so a bunch of like underground artists that are really like underappreciated on there. Yeah, so favorite one, bloody hell, I have no idea. I think Ace War's original EP was really, really cool. Sharks' EP as well. The album from Modus kind of highlights for me. There's a ton more. There's a recent EP from Caval that's really cool. Go check them out. They're all good. Sup Chime, congrats on the EP release. What was the most rewarding song to work on? I think the answer is still Unicorn Blood. It's just weird and I like it. It's just out of nowhere sort of thing. Like, who the hell is making that sort of thing? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are drawn similarities to more Kismet, obviously because of the unicorn style of things, and that's cool. Like, yeah, but honestly, I wasn't necessarily influenced by him. I don't know. I've gone way on track, way off track from this question. Are you? What genres beside bass music do you love to listen to? So I listen to mostly electronic stuff anyway. I listen to a lot of like liquid drum and bass. Drum and bass is kind of my first love, and then dubstep was the one that came along and kind of took over my life a bit. But yeah, I listen to a lot of drum and bass generally, all different kind of subgenres of that. I don't know, man. Mostly that's what I've been listening to. But like, I don't know, anyone else doing cool electronic music? Like Adam Tell is a really big one for me. Tennyson, anything in the future bass kind of spectrum, all that stuff. How long does it take to complete an entire track? Now, I get this a lot, and it's just really difficult to answer because there's so like many factors. Like the tune with Wales took like a year and a half because we were just kind of passing it back and forth, and we had long breaks from working on it and stuff. So did it take an hour and a half, a year and a half to make? Would you call it that? I don't know. We probably only worked for a certain amount of hours on it. And then there's other tunes like Our Flame, the title track, came together in about over the course of a week, maybe. Especially like those UK tunes, which are just based on like one or two main sounds and a melody. Once you kind of got that in place and fleshed it out, that's your tune, rather than something more complex and sort of like modern dubstep. So those happen really quickly. So the answer is it completely depends. Right. How to unlock your mind to produce? Are you asking for my mind or how to unlock your mind? I don't know. Production is mostly about kind of training your ears to hear what's right. I mean, your ideas. I've always kind of been happy with my ideas. And like I listen back to old stuff and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I could remake that. But yeah, a lot of it is just kind of unlocking your ability to mix down properly, which just happens over time. Just produce lots and it'll get better. You can't get worse. That's the thing. If you're producing every day, there's no way you're going to get worse at producing and mixing. So produce as much as possible, really. Is the Helisex collab coming next EP? There is a Helisex collab. It's not coming on the next EP, but it will be coming out and it will be cool. Will you make a Stratos Union EP? Probably not an EP, but there'll be more singles, definitely. You look inconceivably similar to one of my friends. Now, when people say this and they show me a picture like, oh man, it's just somebody who has glasses and a fringe. Like, that's it. Nothing about them looks like me. So is it one of those? Or do they actually look? Have they got the book tee? Or is it just a facade? So okay, more questions. Hi, sorry for bad English. Next collab with Silent and a collab with Spaghetti. Is that a question or just a suggestion? Yeah, definitely collab with Silent again. And yeah, tune with Spaghetti would be cool, I suppose. Like, yeah. Another how old are you? I'm still 26. I definitely haven't aged since the last time you asked. What tips do you have for young producers? So general. Be aware that it's going to take a long time to get anywhere good. Like, it'll be exciting and fun, but you'll hit a point where you're like, oh shit me, like there's so much further to go. So like once you get enough knowledge to know, you know, you don't know how far you have to go until you kind of dip your toe in, really. And then you go, oh shit, this is going to take a decade of producing to get decent. Other people do it faster than me though. In one of your tutorials, you upgraded to Logic Pro X. Do you still use Logic Pro X? Yes, I do. I configured it to be exactly like Logic 9. Now it's fine. Do you think Color Base Volume 2 will ever come out? They're referring to a compilation on my label. Yes. Yes, there'll be. We'll try and make that a yearly thing over on Rushdown. Was Game Break the ID you played in Terminite's Dubstep Kitchen mix? Yes, it was an early version of that tune. I imagine you collaborate with Code Pandorum. Right. Yeah, so we've said we were going to make a tune like 3 years ago. And he hit me back up on Twitter like yesterday, I think. I need to reply. I haven't replied to him. But yeah, and we're going to make a tune, which is going to be super weird and kind of cool. I can imagine just, yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. We'll work on it. Right, let's see. I can never get over how you can do a beatbox snare with your mouth. Please do one right now. Oh, that was quite a clean one. Do you guys want a quick beatbox tutorial? If I see comments saying that in a bit, then I'll do a quick snare tutorial. Right. Favorite/best song you ever made? I think my go-to answer for this is Starstorm. Because I just think it's like pure chime, and it's yeah, I don't know, I just like it. Surface is another one that I'm really proud of as well. I cried when I heard the MDK collab preview. Yeah, so I did a preview of that on the Instagram stories earlier. There is a collab with MDK. I've been slowly chipping away at it. It'll eventually happen and it'll be good. Right. Loads of damn, really 26. Yeah, I know. I haven't aged for like 10 years, honestly. I still get ID'd for energy drink, which in the UK you need to be over 16 for, so it's a little embarrassing. It's better with the mask though, because if you have the mask on, they don't know what the hell you're doing or how old you are or whatever. See my baby eyes. I don't know. Right. I would love to see you working with Marauder. I'm sure you can make some juicy music together. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Have his like stabby stuff going on, and then like my twinkly business. Yeah, I think when I saw him at Lost Lands the other year, I was like, yeah, you should work on something. He was like, So I don't know. How's your dog doing? And may we see it? She's good. She's a bit warm in this weather. She's all the way down. I'm not gonna leave for like a full 5 minutes to try and pick her up and bring her here. But she's good. She's very sweet. What do you like? Just generally. I like pizza. Pizza's good. Why don't enough people consider Burr? That's a reference to a TikTok. I'm on TikTok, by the way. What is this world we are living in? Yeah, so I'm on TikTok, and I made a TikTok pretending that I was about to like get really political, and I just made a horrible beatbox sound. So that's a reference to that. How did you come up with your name? Did I answer this already? No, I don't think so. Not on here. Yeah, so there's a lot of like skulls and death and darkness about in dubstep, which is fine. But I just wanted to kind of go away from that with my artist name. And also, you know, I make kind of brighter, kind of more colorful, sparkly dubstep. So, yeah, I needed a name that fit that. We had a couple on the cards, but Chime was the one that kind of stood the test of, you know, just, yeah, sounded good. It wasn't taken. I couldn't believe that nobody had taken the name Chime for a musical artist. But yeah, it wasn't taken. I like the way it sounds. It feels sparkly and bright and feels like it fits my music. It isn't exclusive to dubstep as well. It doesn't sound like a dubstep name necessarily, so it doesn't matter if I start making whatever the hell later on. Yeah. Okay, do you plan to release another EP this year? Let's see. We are in August right now, so I mean, I'd have to be quick. Probably not, I would say. I think the rest of the year is going to be kind of singles and remixes and bits and pieces. That doesn't mean there's not going to be a bunch of stuff. It's just going to be more broken up. But yeah, this is probably the EP for this year. And then another one in sort of like January, February, maybe. Yeah. How do you make your songs sound nostalgic? That is a good question. Yeah, a lot of people go like, why do I feel nostalgic for this music even though it's the first time I'm listening to it? And a lot of the reason is that I use a lot of video game sound fonts, which are the kind of general MIDI sounds that are kind of packed into old game consoles like N64 and SNES and stuff. And there's kind of a different instrument set for different games, so I can kind of evoke the feeling of being in that kind of like late 90s, early 2000s era just by using a certain sound font from that era. A great example of that is a classic one that Porter Robinson used on the Sad Machine tune, which is that kind of main bell sound. I think it's just called Brightness. I use that a bunch because it sounds like Rayman, the very first Rayman game, and that's like super weirdly nostalgic for me. I also just really like the sound of it. But yeah, generally it's that, and in a combination of the fact that like most of my music is inspired by video game music. So if you're into video games, more than likely you're going to pick up on some of the kind of references and little musical cues and the kinds of chord sequences and melodies that I generally use, because for most of my childhood I was just fucking letting video game music like seep into my brain, and then I realized I liked music later on and I was like, oh, all I've been listening to is chiptune stuff. Do you ever think about actual music theory? Yes, a bit. I not too much, I'd say. I don't really get bogged down with like, ooh, this is like a whatever inversion of this chord, and I find that just to be to just get in the way for me. So I just go MIDI. Oh, that note sounds cool. Oh, that's a little bit jazzy. Yeah, and just kind of go from there. As long as everything sounds all right, I don't really delve into the music theory side of things. The flame represents how fire game break is. Yeah, that's the other thing, that fire has kind of come to represent good. So that's another cool thing. Top 3 of your favorite dubstep songs. Right, that's a really hard question to answer, but I think I know 2 of them. I think one of them is Katie on a Mission by Katie B and Benga. It is the ultimate like UK dubstep, just fun jamming dubstep tune, and it's just drenched with that UK juicy style, and that kind of thing really influenced Our Flame, because just a jam. I think another one that would be in my top 3 is Right In by Skrillex. Yeah, it's a Skrillex tune in my top 3, but to be fair, Right In just does everything I want in a dubstep tune. Like I was here's an interesting bit of backstory. A few years ago, the Disciple guys were staying in an Airbnb in Bristol in England because they were flying out to do a bunch of shows across Europe and stuff. So they were like, get a big Airbnb in Bristol. So they invited me down to come like meet them, because I just started working on the SideQuest EP. Yeah, so and they were like, yeah, come on down. And I was like, can I bring Temonite, because I think you won one of your remix competitions ages ago. And they're like, yeah, sure. So yeah, as we were driving down to go meet the Disciple guys, we were playing like old dubstep tunes and just like gushing about all these different tunes and stuff. Yeah, and Right In, we just played that and we were just like, yes. it's so simple, but it's just everything I want. Like the patterns all align so perfectly. It's just hype, lovely kind of bro step vibes. Love it. So yeah, that's got to be in my top 3. As for the third tune or the order of them, I don't know. But yeah, there's a little story for you guys. 10 out of 10 story. Thank you. Right. There's a lot of people asking the same questions I've already answered. Stop doing that. Right. Let's see what else we got. When is the next Rushdown release? It's been quite a few weeks. Yeah, it's Friday. We're literally going to be announcing that like any minute now. Yeah. How is life in quarantine? It's all right. I'm the kind of person that's kind of all right staying at home, not going outside a lot anyway. So that aspect has been fine. Not playing shows has been a little bit shit because I had a lot of stuff cancelled or postponed. I had the whole North American tour with AU5, which I was really deeply looking forward to. That was just completely postponed until whenever the hell we can do it again. But yeah, and like Rampage was postponed. I have the itchiest nose of all time, by the way, so excuse me for just a moment. Yeah, so that sucked. But I've just been trying to like work on my label, work on new tunes, work on sort of like more Patreon stuff, which which I started during quarantine, which has been immensely helpful for kind of keeping me afloat. So thank you, sincerely thank the fuck out of everybody who is supporting me there. Yeah, so I've just been doing like tutorials for that and all sorts of bits and pieces and sample backs and stuff. So yeah, keep them busy. You know you look like you're 10 years old. I am aware. It doesn't help that I'm a little bit fat and I got a baby face and I got buck teeth like a small child. Right. Will Rushdown ever do mega collabs like Disciples Get Lemon and We Don't Play? Yeah, so it's been suggested multiple times. I think it'd be kind of cool, but I wouldn't want it to feel a bit naff and a bit of like just a rip off of what Disciples doing. It would be cool. But it'd be very difficult to orchestrate. Yeah, maybe it'll happen at some point. Do you describe yourself as a DJ or a producer? A DJ producer, literally both. I mean, I'm more so a music producer, probably. But yeah, DJing is how it happens live for me, so DJ is fine as well. But never just DJ, because that is a whole different thing. Because you can be a DJ and not produce, and you know you're missing a lot of the kind of benefits of being a music producer. What's the story behind Unicorn Blood? So I already went into it a little bit. I guess I'll go into the kind of lyrics a little bit. So I was talking to Miss Lena about what the lyrics could be like. It's quite difficult writing lyrics for a tune called Unicorn Blood when you've already got the title. But I said what I was interested in was kind of a theme of being comfortable being yourself, which something I've struggled with like consistently throughout my life, especially through school. But being able to produce music and have it be accepted onto like these big cool labels and shit, especially the weirder stuff, has been very like validating to see that people are like cool with that. And Unicorn Blood was one of these tunes where I was like, this is weird, are people gonna like this? And yeah, so we kind of went in on that. I've noticed that at dubstep shows, this might be more of a kind of European thing than an American thing, but there's kind of a subset of people that, especially guys, that are like, this is too... My dog is barking. This is too melodic, this is too girly, it's too floaty, I'm not having any of this. If it's not heavy in my face, then I am not allowed to dance to it. That's obviously an extreme, but like I've felt that at shows before, where something like I play something melodic and there's just a subset of people that are like, I'll just wait for something heavy to come along. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think with this tune, I'm just kind of trying to coax those people out of their comfort zone a little bit, because we've got the horrible, nasty, bloody, death, horrible nightmare side of the tune, which is kind of growly stuff and just screechy, horrible stuff, which is going to appeal to those guys. But also you got floaty, girly things going on, so it's going to be a little bit confusing if you're like into only one of those sides. But yeah, it's about kind of accepting that and being like, you know what, fuck it, this is cool, this is weird, this is me, this is unique, let's go for it. So that's what the tune's about. Yeah, 10 years old. Yep, I do look 10 years old. Is there a chance you do a collab with anyone from Monster Cat? Yeah, so I currently have a tune on the go with Pixel Terror. We'll see where that goes. They've had the stems for like bloody ages. Go hit them up on Twitter and go, what are you playing at? I'm not actually mad. Yeah, Pixel Terror. I'd love to work with Tokyo Machine, as I've said before. Don't know who else. Probably other people I'm thinking of. Yeah, Pegboard Nerds, I'd like to. There is a chance, is what I'm saying. What part of making a song do you enjoy the most? Good question. It's never like a specific thing. It's just a feeling of fleshing things out and building it out. When there's a moment with some tunes where you just get like a momentum going on, and it's like, oh, I can do this. There's a really nice point about a third to halfway through writing a tune where you have a kind of toolbox available. You have a bunch of different sounds, you have a vibe going on, maybe like a concept behind the track, maybe an idea for the title. And that's just a really nice point to be at, because it's like the rest of this journey in making this track is going to be so enjoyable. I have all these pieces that I can put together. Or like maybe I've got a drop and I want to make the intro, and I'm like, right, I've got the cool challenge of making an intro that I feel like fits with the drop. And it can be quite difficult, and that can be a time when I get stuck. But when I kind of power through that and I go, oh yes, okay, we've bridged the gap. We got the intro, we got a build up, we got a drop. We're good to go, we're flying. That's kind of my favorite thing about producing is that kind of momentum you get and really enjoying what you're doing. So nothing really specific. What are your favorite details from the EP? Details. I think I'm particularly happy with the second drop of Unicorn Blood. I was very close to doing something more like the first drop for the second drop of Unicorn Blood. And I was trying out a couple of things. I was trying to like a bit of a fake out and then just going back in and a couple of things. But I was just like, I got an idea to do something completely different. Let's just do that. And I'm really glad I kind of made that decision. Yeah, that kind of pluck sound was really cool, and how it just goes from that hugeness, like filling your headphones with screech, down to this like tiny little pluck is really enjoyable for me. And it's one of those tracks that I'm like, oh, I really want to play this live, but I can't right now. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things. I liked also on Game Break the breakdown of that tune, where we've got like kind of breakbeat drums going on. A lot of the word break being used right now. Yeah, I made a melody out of the snare line, because I noticed the snare I was using was quite pitched to a note, and I was like, okay, let's get that in tune. And then I was like, what if I just made a melody as part of the drum beat? And it worked really well, so I was quite happy with that. Also the like glitchy stuff that ends the tune, Game Break, was fun to make as well. What else? Yeah, I don't know, just like get the vocals from Virus Syndicate on Queasy were just so good. Like, that is my favorite Virus Syndicate tune now. It's just exactly what I like about their kind of flow on the vocals. Like they're rhyming stuff like halfway in between where you would expect them to rhyme, and they're just adding bits in. It's just so good. Yeah, there's a couple of things, I guess. Right. Will you... This question might have been answered already, but will you be making a track rundown of any sorts anytime? Your sound design is really interesting and unique. Thank you. That was from Xander. Yes. So I'm planning on making a track breakdown. Possibly doing it live, possibly just uploading it to my YouTube channel sort of next week. Let me know just tweet at me or say in the chat or whatever. Let me know which track you'd most like to see, because I'll probably do one public one and then I'll do a few that are on Patreon only for like the other tracks of the EP, just breaking those down. So what would you like to see the most out of each of the EP tunes? Okay, Chime to Eliminate. Yes, that would be so cool. How many years are you producing for? Yep, already got that. So many copied questions. Oh shit. Right, occasionally YouTube is just scrolling right down to the bottom, so fuck. Okay, I'm gonna try and find where I was at. If I miss your questions, I'm very sorry. And if I don't answer your questions in this session, honestly, just tweet at me. I will try and answer any questions that I get on Twitter. So just do that. But I'll try my best right now. No, I'm not going to collab with that. Sick. Right. Can you collab with Sonar, please? Yes, that's happening. Shit me. Okay, how do you make your snares hit so hard? Right. It's a combination of factors that makes a snare good, I think. The transient is a really important thing, which is the kind of burst of white noise. It's the thing that makes it kind of clicky and really impactful at the start. I use a very specific transient on like all of my snares because I just know it works. Yeah, and then it's just like the top end needs to connect to the bottom end frequency-wise properly. I don't know, man. Like I combine loads of different snares and stuff to try and make new ones. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for a certain sort of thing with the samples, and I just make that work. It's very difficult to describe, but I do have a Patreon tutorial coming out soon where I go through it. I don't unplug it a lot, but like, yeah. And again, I might make those tutorials public later on. Okay, we get it. I also want to hear Chime dissing Riot 10, but shut up. Well, I'm not going to diss Riot 10. I've met him. He's a nice bloke. It's fine. Don't worry. It's all good. We need Ace Aura and Panda Eyes and Chime to happen. That'd be pretty cool. Favorite VST excluding Serum? Well, right now I'm using a lot of convolution reverb. So I guess technically there's Space Designer in Logic, but there's a convolution reverb plugin in like all the main doors, and it's just magical. It's amazing. It's my favorite thing right now. So yeah, look it up. There's a really good tutorial from AU5 that goes through a bunch of like convolution reverb techniques. Favorite Pokemon, and is it Chime Echo? No, it's not. Although I really like Chingling, which is the pre-evolution. Favorite Pokemon for a while has been either Scraggy or Drifloon. Scraggy is like a lizard thing that has like baggy pants that he has to pull up all the time. It's just ridiculous. And Drifloon is like a ghost balloon Pokemon that's like creepy, but it looks really cute. There you go. Favorite Pokemon with Chime. Do you plan on collabing with more Kismet? That would be incredible. Yeah, I mean, I sent him a message on Twitter like a long while back now, being like, hey, if you want to work on something, that'd be cool, because I like the fact that you're bringing like Melody and stuff over to like NSD where they usually don't. Anyone who could crack the shell of a label who normally like releases heavy stuff, I'm like all down for that. You guys know it'd be easier for him to read each comment if you stop spamming. That's very true. Right. Are you planning to do more video game remixes in the future? Yeah, man, I haven't done one of those for a long time. Yeah, I was trying to do that kind of earlier on because I was trying to just build as much of a following as possible. But what I noticed is that there's a different set. There's kind of two different sets of followings you can build. It's good to have both. I should explain what they are. there's a following that's gonna come to your shows, and there's a following that are gonna stream your stuff online and, you know, hype you up online. So, and you can have both, but really, I wanted to focus more on the audience that are going to come to shows, because really I wanted to start like touring and playing shows. That was like my dream thing, really. So, and I noticed that in order to do that, you really need to release with sort of labels and get your spread your audience via that. Whereas, the hell was the original question? Video game remixes. Yeah. Whereas, I don't know, releasing somewhere like NCS or Monster Cat, I'd say, and doing those kind of video game remixes and building up momentum on like YouTube, it's going to get you a hell of a lot of plays, but it's not necessarily going to get you bookings. There are exceptions to the rule, but yeah, that's just kind of what I noticed. So that's kind of why I moved more towards like music for playing shows, and you know, the sort of stuff that other people would play out and that kind of thing. Right, I'm gonna try and find a new one. Who's a producer that needs a lot more recognition in your opinion? It's always the same answer. It's Ace Aura. He's really yeah, he's really starting a new fucking subgenre right now. Like, it's very difficult to do that. Like, from someone to come like second place in my remix competition to being like one of my biggest influences in dubstep. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Ace Aura, go check him out if you haven't. Anyone making that sort of future rhythm stuff, holy shit, I really want it to take off, because it would be so cool. It'd be refreshing as balls. Who is a producer that's the same question? Can you say Virus Syndicate's producer tag? Oh man. No. I think I tried to on the last Q&A on the channel, and it was just bad. It's just bad. I'm not even going to try, man. Last question from me. When a collab with just Wool, I'm assuming Wooly. I don't know. I think he expressed interest in making a tune like a long time ago. I don't know. It might happen. I don't feel like I'm in the same kind of circles as him, but yeah, it could happen. I just wanted to say that your melodic rhythm tutorial helped me a lot, and I want to say thanks for that. Thank you, man. Yeah, like you're making me plug my Patreon, man. that's another tutorial that's up on Patreon. But yeah, if you made Death Step, who would you make it with? Code Pandorum. It's gonna happen, man. Melodic Death Step is gonna happen. What about the one short chiptune part in the second drop of Interdimensional? It reminds me of Deltarune and Undertale music. Short chiptune part. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. I think there's some kind of square wave arpeggio stuff that might have been used, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't see the questions that he's answering. Yes, because I'm like way behind, man. I'm so sorry. Writing is sick. Yes, it is. Okay. Are you gonna collab with Frankie Nuts and Oliver's again? It's possible. What's your favorite song from the UAP? Already answered that. Unicorn Blood. I'm trying to find new questions. Bear with me. Favorite DAW project of a song that you have made in terms of organization, sounds, and workflow? I don't really change much up in my kind of organization and workflow, really. My projects always end up being like, I don't know, man, drums, effects, melodic stuff, basses, sub-bass, vocals. It's kind of always in that order. So I don't really have a favorite project. It's all just kind of justifying the end product, really. It's not like, yeah, I don't know. I don't care how things are made, usually, just if it sounds cool. Yeah, will you ever make a track with a snare that goes doof instead of I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're referring to, man. I want to hear him say "bware." Oh, the vomit thing. No, that's not happening, man. That's not happening, I'm afraid. Collaboration with Murder. Yeah, I'd be down. I'm usually down to work with anyone if they express interest. I've got to the point though where I'm like way crammed in with too many collabs, so I usually wait for people to come to me than approaching them. But people know if I'm interested in their music and want to work with them, so I'll let them come to me. Will you become a Newgrounds author? I don't think so. I think that, yeah, there's a lot of people that want me to put my stuff on Newgrounds, but I don't know how to, and it's complicated. So I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, been here since Interdimensional. Not that long then. Interdimensional was, yeah, a year ago. Yeah, I've been here a year. That's not bad. It's not bad. How did you get into music production? So honestly, I opened GarageBand on my hand-me-down old MacBook, and I was like getting into making like videos on iMovies, just shitty little videos. And people kept saying, "Oh, you could make your own music for the videos." And I was like, "Okay, how do I do that?" Open GarageBand, start pissing about with loops. Really spiraled out of control from there because like it's my career now. So yeah, I don't know. That's how I got into it. Honestly, I started listening to I got into the Prodigy. That was the first like band or group or whatever I was really listening to. Before that, it was all video game music and like Guitar Hero and shit. But yeah, Prodigy, and then I got into Pendulum, and then I started like really looking for music generally, and via Pendulum it went to just all the drum and bass guys like Subfocus and Hospital Records and that sort of thing. Within like a week, I feel like within a week I'd figured out what music I liked, and then that followed onto dubstep from there, and I got into more production and stuff. So yeah, you're not fat. Oh, thank you so much. But look at this, it's the state. Has anybody tried to offer you candy in a van? No, unfortunately no. Do you prefer to make melodic stuff or rhythm stuff? Well, whenever I'm making rhythm stuff, it generally is melodic or has a flavor of it. It's always sort of musical, my stuff. So I never stray too far from that really. So it's always melodic. Anyway. Right. Do producers get signed to Rushdown if they release once? Well, it depends what you mean by signed. Like in Disciple's case, like signed could mean exclusively signed, like they're kind of core roster of artists, or people like me who just like release an EP from kind of outside of the core roster. So signed generally just means a tune released with a label. So, but no, we don't have any like exclusive thing on Rushdown. Have you heard of Extra Law? I think so. I'm not sure. That's a name I've seen floating around, but no. When did you start making melodic rhythm? Right. I was trying to figure this out today, actually. I was trying to figure out what the first track I made that was kind of going for that style was. I think technically it was Ethereal, which was on my first Firepower EP, which must have been 2016. That was the first time I tried it, but I didn't really know what rhythm was. So I don't know. I'll have to listen back to it and see if it counts as melodic rhythm. But yeah, like Featherweight was the first one where I was like, this is going to be a melodic rhythm tune. I don't know, Ethereal was that as well. I don't know, 2016, maybe. Was anyone making melodic rhythm before that? I want to find out if I was like starting that or whatever. Yeah, probably was. Is the AU5 collab gonna come out this year? Yeah, so I may as well say like we had the Voidwalkers tour was what it was called. Was the tour that was set to happen. I mean, it would have already been over now, but this summer, springtime of this year that got postponed. There was a tune to go along with that. That has been set for release later in the year. It will release this year. Do you have a girlfriend? I have a wife. Weird. I don't like the word wife. Yeah, I'm married, even though I look like I'm 60 years old. But yes, I have a lucky. Why didn't you name potions Weeble Wobble? Because I don't know. I could have jumped on the trend, but yeah, I had a really good theme with like the kind of alchemy theme with that tune that I liked, and basically the theme of that tune is that you steal potions from a shop and drink them, and then you trip out in a big way, and it sounds all wobbly and dubsteppy. And also the amazing sample, the potion seller sample. I had that, and I was just like, yes. So yeah, I like to get those concepts on the go rather than just be like, I'm just going to hop on this trend sort of thing. He probably binged every episode of Charlie the Unicorn. I have never seen that, so no, I didn't. Have you heard of Creo? I don't think so. The GD community going crazy in the chat. What does GD stand for? I don't know. Right, GD music? Video game music? I don't know what that is. Okay. Let's see. Hello, can you say Ave Maria? There we go. It's not manly and not girly, it's just a masterpiece. I think that was in referral to Unicorn Blood. Thank you. It's I mean, ultimately, who cares? It's music. But I don't know. I like injecting some of that kind of like thought process into my stuff. It makes it a little bit deeper than just, I'm going to write a dubstep tune today. Yeah. If you were making a color-based tune, would you tend to focus on making a cohesive drop with a good flow and then add tonality? Or do you focus on the tonal aspect from the get-go? Right. So to clarify something, color bass. Yeah, I saw a clip from Eliminate Stream being like, what's color bass? Yeah, it's what I call my, like, most of the music I make, which is basically melodic dubstep. But I wanted something to kind of segregate it from, because it's not what most people call melodic dubstep. My stuff, it is melodic, it is dubstep. But I think what most people think of nowadays with melodic dubstep is more the kind of like super saw, chordy, cry, headbanging, 7 lines, Elenium stuff. That's what I think. Or like the tune that Company just released, that sort of thing. That's what I think people think melodic dubstep is. Which, I mean, it is. But like, yeah, I wanted to create something that was just a little bit separate from that, which, you know, sometimes it gets heavy, sometimes it's a little bit this way. It's kind of a spectrum, and color bass is anything in between, really, because that's what I find the most fun. Yeah, because when I'm listening to something that's just straight heavy, I want something, you know, a little bit of musicality in there. When I listen to something that's just straight melodic and just chordy, I want a little bit of grit, just a bit of something. So yeah, that's the idea with that. I didn't answer the question. If you're making a color-based tune, would you tend to focus on making a cohesive, right? Okay, cohesive drop with a good flow and then add tonality, or do you focus on the tonal aspect from the get-go? Usually, it's from the get-go. Everything I make is kind of tonal anyway, but more recently, I've kind of with the kind of convolution reverb thing and resonators and that sort of thing that I've started using. I mean, in large part thanks to Ace Aura and his kind of style of stuff. Yeah, there's kind of a bit of both, but generally everything I'm making is tonal all the way through. Do you have a son? And if yes, do they listen to your music? Right, so we've gone from there's no way you're married, you must be 10 years old, to do you have a son? No, I don't have a son. I don't think I will be having a son anytime soon, or maybe ever. And no, and therefore no, they don't listen to my music. Right. Oh my god, I'm actually getting down the questions. This is amazing. Right. Okay. Do you make your fast arps manually, or do you use an arpeggiator? I never use an arpeggiator because I don't know how to. I don't think there is one in Logic. I don't think there is. There might be, but yeah, I do everything manually. I just go in. I don't use a keyboard or anything to get my MIDI in or anything like that. I literally just go in, start penciling in some notes. And I quite like that because I can just add little bits of, a bit of that note or whatever, and just kind of trial and error and see what works. And it also leads to, if you use an arpeggiator, it's going to be locked to a grid. But if I'm just going in with notes, usually with like a square wave or something, then it just turns out as this kind of sort of more natural feeling thing. So yeah, that's what I do. Okay. Thoughts on metal step? What, like phase one kind of stuff? Yeah, anything plus dubstep is usually cool. Like, I tend to get quite bored with dubstep tunes that are just dubstep. There are exceptions with that as well. But like, yeah, if you're bringing some kind of outside influence in, or some kind of cool concept or whatever it is, anything to change with the formula, I am like well up for. So like metal stuff, cool, it works, it makes total sense, especially because a lot of the American audience come from a sort of heavy metal background. And interestingly, that's what like all the people in the UK were like way against, because dubstep originally came from a much like deeper background, and obviously the word dub is in it, so it's kind of more from dub reggae, which is a lot more chill in comparison to metal. And it was also kind of more rooted in like garage and house and that sort of thing. So for Americans to come in and bring all of their like metal and pop influence into dubstep, everyone was like, we're not dealing with that stuff. But yeah, I love all of it. Any other flavors you can add to the pot, stir it up, make a big dubstep soup, serve that right to an audience. That's a fun time. That was a very convoluted answer to that. How did you meet Sam? I'm assuming you mean Temanite. We were booked a co-headline show in Paris, which was so cool. We played the Batafar, which was a permanently moored boat that's a venue and a bar and shit in Paris, and it was legit. And they closed it down now, which sucks because it was really cool. But yeah, so I think we like Skyped maybe a week before, because we were going to do like a back-to-back thing and try and like get a tune ready to play, which is what the Big Crunch was. Yeah, fun fact, he was working on like the second half of the Big Crunch's drop in the green room while I was playing my set. And then we did the back-to-back. So I think there's a video of it actually where the second drop of the Big Crunch comes, and I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen now, and I'm like, oh shit, when I hear it for the first time on stage. So that was really cool. Yeah, and then he ended up moving to Leeds, which is my hometown, to go to Leeds College of Music, which, another fun fact, is where Rusko went and absolutely hated his time there. Oh, and also 50 Carat went there, I think. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yes, he did. He went at the same time as my cousin. There's a lot of connections going on right now. But yeah, I don't know where I went with that. How did I meet Sam? I've answered the question. What did From Fairies to Fire mean to you? So that was the title track of my first Firepower EP. It's interesting, actually, because it's the same concept I'm still kind of going into and still kind of pushing, which is this in-between. From Fairies to Fire was a reference to the fact that a melodic artist, because I was really a lot more kind of just melodic based at that point, was suddenly turning up on Firepower Records, which, released pretty heavy stuff. So From Fairies to Fire was me. That was like the first time I was trying to really push the envelope with what they would take from me. And I gave that EP to them, and they were like, yep. I was like, oh shit, like straight away. I was like, yeah, but it's all twinkly and girly and stuff. So yeah, it kind of just immediately ties into Unicorn Blood, really. It's that same kind of vibe. And I've touched on that a lot, that sort of in-betweeny sort of thing. Featherweight was another thing I mentioned. But yeah, that's what it meant. It was also kind of a subtle reference to Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, because I believe that was the tune that really cemented that we're going to go from something floaty to heavy. And I really like that that contrast. It was really impactful, and I just really like that kind of idea. So I've just been cooking on that, on the fumes of Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites for the past like 5 years, longer than that even. So yeah, man, I'm getting deep on these questions, man. People are just talking about other producers and shit, just having completely just separate conversations. Right, are sandwiches hot dogs? No. Well, okay, the sandwich specification, it's complicated because in the UK you have a burger, right, which is typically, I know originally it's the place where the beef patty thing comes from in Germany. I understand where that comes from, but now what it's come to mean in the UK, I'm doing this because it represents the not cylindrical, the circular nature of a burger. A burger is cylindrical. It goes in a cylindrical, not spherical, circular. It goes in a circular bun. That's what it means. So I say chicken burger when you get a chicken thing in a burger, chicken burger, right? But then you say that in America and they're like, what's a chicken burger? And they're like, it's a chicken sandwich. It's like, yeah. So at that point, there's too much cultural mess going on there for anyone to figure out if a sandwich is a hot dog or vice versa. I'm moving on. What are your thoughts on the social media hustle required by artists nowadays, and what would you recommend to artists that have an aversion to that? Man, let me think. That's a pretty big question. I don't mind it personally. Because I genuinely really enjoy posting on social media and getting responses. I read as many comments as I can, and you know, I try to read messages. That gets a little bit tough, but yeah, genuinely, like, I just, on being on this side, it's really easy for me to go, I don't know, people are like, oh, can you say happy birthday to my friend? And I'm like, hell yeah. It's like painfully easy for me to do that, and it like makes their day. That's excellent. I love that kind of side of social media. I know that there are, yeah. What would you recommend to artists that have an aversion to that? It's not really my place to say. I'm not a manager. I'm not, you know, I do my own thing. I kind of do my own thing on social media. I have my own rules. Don't post anything political or religious or vaguely controversial on Twitter, as much as possible. And yeah, people will get offended at a lot of different things very easily. But I mean, pretty much 100% of my stuff is, look at me, I'm excited about music. Here's a new tune. I'm doing this thing. I'm releasing this thing. Some stupid TikTok videos recently. Yeah, so it's usually just positive and stuff, because I think it's not my job to talk about whatever the hell is going on in the world. I'm a guy who makes dubstep tunes. That is my role. Yeah, so what would I recommend to artists that have an aversion to that? It's up to them. It's, for some people, it works being more controversial because people remember them or whatever. For me, I'm trying to be myself as much as possible, make the music I enjoy, push for, I don't know why I'm numbering these, push artists that I think should get more exposure, and just, yeah, have a good time. Don't hurt anyone's feelings as much as possible. I never mean to hurt anyone's feelings, by the way. Even if I'm like trying to be more critical of music, which never really fucking happens. But yeah, that's my general stance on social media. So there you go. Any plans to bring? Oh, I think I missed some. Anyway, hold up. What's your favorite game? my go-to right now, it's either Zelda Breath of the Wild or Hollow Knight. Just exploration-based, adventure-y, amazing, heartwarming loveliness. And there's cool combat, and there's cool physics. Yes, I like those games. Okay. Right. I love the EPs, but what would it take for you to produce a full album, like 10 tracks or so? Yeah, so I've been wanting to make an album for basically my entire musical career, and it's something it's something I really want to do. I don't think now is the time. Generally, like at this point in my life, I'm generally more focused in making music that is fun to play live, because that's what I enjoy about my music career now, is making music and playing cool shows and meeting cool people and stuff. An album is kind of more for like home listening. Usually that's kind of my perception of it, especially in this field of music. So yeah, I'd want it to be more focused on a home listening experience. There'd probably be a couple of drum and bass tunes on there. There'd be like ambient stuff. There'd be all kinds of different genres and stuff. And there'll be like a couple of tunes that a dubsteppy, definitely. But yeah, it would kind of be a new side to me that I think it wouldn't necessarily be beneficial to me right now to write an album, and therefore my motivation for it might not be strong enough, if that makes sense. Yeah, but that is definitely happening within the next, I don't know, whenever there's a good point, or like, yeah, it'll happen, man. Any plans to bring guest mixes on Rushdown? That's a cool idea. We could definitely do it. I'll have a think about that. Your music is so enjoyable. Thank you so much. I like the word enjoyable. It's so wholesome. Could you collab with Diamond Eyes? I'd love to. He is a lovely guy. In fact, I was saying earlier about how me and Sam Temanite came down to Bristol to meet the Disciple guys. He was there too, and I met him, and I was like, oh shit, what's up? And we got really pissed, and we made a fire in this Airbnb, and it was great. Yeah, I'd love to work with him. Such a nice guy. Great, I'm late again. Hi, everyone. Well, Ginger Panda, you're not too late, because I just read your thing. How hard was it to learn to make music? What a man, I'm thirsty as hell. How hard was it to learn to make music? Depends what you mean by hard, really. Hard in that it took a long time, yes. But yeah, it's always been enjoyable, really. So it's like, even when I was like struggling and not really able to figure out how to do certain bits, or I felt like my music was a bit shit, it was still fun to make the whole time. And I'd always just have the motivation to go, well, I'm just going to make something cooler then. So I don't know if hard's the word. It's challenging, maybe? I don't know. But yeah. What's your favorite song from the EP? Unicorn Blood, already mentioned. Oh, GD, Geometry Dash. Right, okay. Yeah, I know. A lot of people want my music on Geometry Dash because I think Temanite stuff is on there and it's quite popular. Right. Tweet at me why it's a cool idea to get my music on Geometry Dash and how that would work. Let me know, and maybe you can convince me. When collab with Ace Aura? Already happened, man, on the last EP, but there will be more, definitely. Oh shit, dude, it's moved my... Oh, there's like a million questions now. Fuck. All right, I'm gonna try and find the place. It does that thing where it just scrolls down right to the bottom. I thought I was getting down these questions, man. Holy shit. Oh, piss. Right, okay. I'm just gonna go from here. Have you ever felt unsure about uploading a track? Not really. I've been very pleasantly surprised with like how my audience or basically whoever comes across my music has reacted to my stuff. There's never really been anybody who's like, this is garbage. You get like a couple, but it's never really an overwhelming thing for me. It's mostly just completely positive, which is interesting. I don't know why specifically, but yeah. So I've never really felt scared to like, I'm gonna release a drum and bass tune, which is something I did recently, and everyone was like, cool. It was never like, you have forsaken us. What are you doing? Which has happened to other artists, so I don't know what the difference is between me and them, really. Maybe people are like into melodic stuff are more open to that stuff in other genres. I don't know, man. Well, I don't know. Do you still like your own song by the name of Different? Yeah, it was really fun. That was the second time I used my own vocals on a track. Yeah, and it was just, I like the message. It's like, stuck in a rut. Why don't we try something different with music? Like, let's have some fun, guys. Jesus, stop stressing. Yeah, I want to see you without glasses, please. There we go. There it is. Do I look younger, older? What is that? What is UK dubstep? It's from, well, man, it was like all dubstep was UK dubstep originally. Yeah. If you guys don't know, by the way, because a fair few of you might, if you've only gone to dubstep recently, look into the past of like where the hell dubstep came from, because it is so cool and interesting, and you might find out that like some of the artists you like have been around for fucking ages, and like, I mean, some of the guys on Disciple, even like 12th Planet has been around for pissing ages, man. He was like one of the original dudes. Yeah, so it's really interesting, like delving back into the history of it, and you kind of realize, oh, there's like this whole era in the middle where this was happening, and then it got wobbly over here or whatever. Yeah, check it out. Usually American people that have kind of gotten into it more recently, go check out the origins of dubstep. It's cool as hell. He's reading it in chronological order, guys. Chill. I'm trying my best. I'm really trying my best. Code Pandorum and Infect collab. It's up to them. I don't know why you're asking me. Any VIPs you plan to make? Not really. I think I like making VIPs for like live shows, because you get the cool sort of expectation being knocked out of place thing, where it's like, oh shit, it's a VIP. Like that's quite exciting. That's generally what I do VIPs for, but with no shows happening right now, not really happening. Cool. A Chime OnlyFans, I would get top tier sub. Well, Patreon's kind of like an OnlyFans. You see me reveal all of my melodic rhythm techniques. Your collab with Code Pandorum is the ID7 of the 2019 showcase. No, we haven't started our collab yet. We've just said we would. Do you speak other languages? I speak a tiny bit of French that I learned from school, but not really. Yeah, color bass is a lot different from melodic dubstep, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I just it doesn't really matter what you kind of label things. It's really just more about. It was just kind of a sort of branding thing as well. It's just a way of coaxing people to this kind of style a little bit more. So that's kind of why I did it. A lot of people asking me to take my glasses off, which I've already done. What are your? Oh no, I answered that already. Piss, man. Favorite meal and dessert. All right. Favorite meal. See, like I like the classic unhealthy shit, like pizza, curry, and I'm talking mostly American style pizza actually, and Indian curry. I'm from the UK, so like there's a huge like Indian community here that make a fucking hella good curry, man. So those are the things I like best, honestly. Just Oh, flavor in my face, in my brain. That's what I want out of food. Dessert. Oh shit, man. Anything creamy, man. Anything creamy. Panna cotta. What's it called? Creme brulee. Anything white chocolatey. Cheesecake. Yes. Right, next. I am going to finish up at some point, but I'm going to really try and get through as many questions as possible before we do that. What makes you have great ideas to make melodic dubstep? Honestly, it's just how my brain works. My brain connects things in a kind of melodic way. I don't really think of tunes. I mean, sometimes I'll think of a tune in a more rhythmic, like pattern sense. But yeah, there's always some kind of tonality there. So it's just how my brain works, man. I mean, you can tell, like other producers, they just make more kind of like noisy stuff, and that's cool. But that's not how my brain works. There is a stock arpeggiator in Logic. I sure haven't found it, but that's good to know. Do you have a particular collaboration that you are excited to announce? I do, but I can't announce it yet. But no, I can't say anything. Chime, who's your wife? She is she's my wife. I don't know, she's not like a secret dubstep producer or something. Yeah, I don't know. We met at 17 at school. She's cool. Yeah, that's all you need to know, man. There is an arpeggiator in Logic in the MIDI effects. MIDI effects? I need to delve into the MIDI effects, man. If you don't mind, I'm a little curious about your family. Well, that's creepy. Not necessarily. What can I tell you about my family? I actually go into it a little bit. I did an interview with Sidewalk Talk. You can look that up on YouTube. I go into like what my parents are like a little bit in that. Yeah, go look that up, I guess. Hi, nice EP dude. Thank you. What is a tune you made that you wished turned out better? Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of old tunes that are just kind of a bit whatevery. Like, I don't know. It's the tracks that don't sound like me that feel most disappointing, because that's really my ultimate goal, is for it to be sort of authentic to myself. But if I can hear that I'm like clearly trying to fit a current trend or sound or whatever, then I'm, when I listen back to the music, I'm just like, yeah, because it's just a bit safe, really. So I don't know one in particular, but yeah. Will you eventually collab with Papa Khan? If you don't know, there's a guy called Papa Khan who has a lot of unreleased stuff that he needs to release because it's sick. We put out one of his tracks on Rushdown that is sweet, and he's really, along with Ace Aura, kind of like really delving into that sort of future rhythm stuff. So yeah, check him out. Would I collab with him? Yeah, sure. I'm down, man. I'm down for anything. It's just about if I have any bloody time for it. What do you find is the worst thing about making music or the music industry? I don't know. I'm not a person that's like very good with conflict. So any of that sort of thing that happens in the music industry, I'm just like, I want to stay out of this, man. I don't want anyone to be pissed off at me or whatever, or like, yeah. So I'm very glad I've got like management and an agent, and well, a set of agents now that can be hard on people, and I can just be the guy who turns up happy as Larry and just starts playing tunes. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing specific for that question, really. How to deal with people who hate dubstep? Don't bother. How to deal with them? Treat them like human beings. Like, you don't have to make them like dubstep. It's fine. I actually recreated Wet Napkin Chime and Ace Aura remix in Google Chrome Music Lab. How? Sure. Tweet that at me and I'll check it out, I suppose. That's super weird. Chime and Ghastly collab would be awesome. Yeah, I'm actually. I need to listen up on. What am I saying? What am I saying? I need to listen up on his stuff a little bit more. I'm not super familiar with his stuff. Sharks was on the chat and said he's Chime's wife. What the hell's going on here? No, Sharks isn't my wife. That would be hilarious. No, no offense to Sharks, but that's such a random thing. 128 BPM melodic rhythm with bass house influence. Is this a suggestion? I don't know, man. That seems a bit slow. Although, I do have an idea. There's kind of a very brief point where there's a couple of people trying out like 4 to the floor dubstep. There's X-Core, a guy called QnA, and there's actually a Dodge and Fusky tune that was kind of like that. It was kind of like house influenced dubstep, where you've got like a kick on every beat, but you've got your snare on the offbeat still, so it's like, which is kind of what Katie on a Mission is like, and some of the like old UK tunes. But there's a little tiny resurgence of that at one point, and I do have a couple of ideas that I could use to make, that kind of housey dubstep crossover. Who made the Bro Down account on SoundCloud? There's a SoundCloud account where someone, it's one of the Rushdown guys. I can't tell who it is. They just put the Bro sample along with like a bunch of Rushdown releases, and it's comical. Any chance your next EP will have some more melodic dubstep? It always will, man. It always will. Hey, what studio monitors do you recommend? I'm considering getting the HS7 for my small room. I personally can't recommend monitors because I use motherfucking headphones for everything I do. Which I can recommend these, sort of. KRK KNS 8400s. They're the headphones I use. Honestly, I've just been like replacing them when they get broken, and I'm used to them, and I know how everything sounds in them. It's a little bit harsh in the high mids, but I know that, so I account for it. So I can't really recommend monitors because I have some just for playing stuff out, but like my room isn't treated. I've got horrible like slapback reverb going on between these two walls, so I can't really use them. And I'm used to using headphones anyway, and I've used them for bloody years. So I'm sorry, man. I can't recommend anything. Something that's good enough. Generally, there's like a sweet spot where the price gets reasonable but still good, and then beyond that, it improves tiny amounts, but the cost goes up like crazy. So anywhere in the middle. Okay, I'm aware that I'm super behind on these questions, but I'm just gonna keep chugging for a little bit. I will finish up at some point, but once again, if I don't get to your question, tweet at me afterwards and I'll try and tweet back. Chime, I absolutely loved Unicorn Blood. Will you make another awesome track like that? I am working on one that's kind of in a similar vein. It's kind of very pink colored in my head, and it's in like the same key. I feel like it would be sweet to like chop up with Unicorn Blood. There's more coming up. Oh man, I'm so behind. This is ridiculous. Chime, has your wife ever listened to your music? Yeah, of course. She generally likes my more kind of melodic stuff, more musical stuff, and like with vocals and that sort of thing. She isn't too fussed on like the heavier side of things and that. So like on this EP, I think she's all right with Unicorn Blood. She's all right with Our Flame, but like the other two, it's just too heavy for her. Do you miss being December? No. I don't know. Sometimes I miss that kind of era, but then I just relive it and make a new tune that sounds like that era. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with where I'm at, so it's all good. Chime, how do you make your artwork? I love it. It represents your coined term color base so well. Oh, so this is referring to I make all the artwork for Rushdown, my label. And they're all the way I started making them was kind of based on like the Never Say Die artworks from around that time, from around like 2016, but inverted, so they had like a white background and they're very colorful rather than kind of quite dark. Yeah, how do I make them? I honestly, a lot of royalty-free images and Photoshop and messing around with different layers and stuff. And opinion. Oh, already answered that. Thank you for making Interdimensional one of my favorite songs. Thank you. That's from James. Speaking of vaporwave, would you ever make a vaporwave or future funk track? I'm not actually too knowledgeable about those like genres, so I'm not sure. I kind of know what vaporwave is, but no, I don't think so. It usually, if you ask me would I make this kind of track, it would be more like inspired by that rather than delving straight into the genre. Why don't you get Temanite on your EP? I will. If we make a tune, it might go on an EP. We'll see. The sandwiches and hot dogs question is mine. Man, that's from so long ago. I'm so behind. Hot dog versus sandwich is a pretty controversial topic to chime. I don't know. It's more fun to give a shit about those things, isn't it? Than just a Kit Kat technically is a lasagna. That's amazing. It's layered sheets of carbohydrates and sauce, chocolate which has been hardened. I can get behind that, man. No. Who cares? This links into music. This Kit Kat lasagna talk links into music very well. And the idea is trying to label things as discreetly as that is unnecessary. And, you go crazy on subgenres and start fighting about what counts as what. They're just guides. A lasagna, you generally know what you're getting. Dubstep, you generally know what you're getting. But it doesn't matter, ultimately, the exactness and like, oh no, it can't be a lasagna, it's made of chocolate. Wait, what the hell point am I making? I'm moving on. I am definitely moving on. Who sings in the song Our Flame? It is a sample from Splice. It's a really good vocal sample pack. I believe it's the same singer that did the vocals for Get High that Oliver's used. Because I was looking through and I ended up stumbling upon like the clip he used. I was like, oh no. So yeah, really good. I need to like figure out who that is and like tweet at him and go, check out this EP I named after one of your lyrics. Yes. Have you ever met Oscar Steinbeck in person? That's Panda Eyes. Yeah, I met him at that Disciple meetup. That was like at the point where he'd first originally signed with them, or it might have been like just before. Yeah, it was just before he was revealed to be signed with them. So he was hanging out with them. I was real surprised that he was there because I was like, I didn't know he was signed to Disciple. Yeah. Right. I'm going to do a few more questions. I'm sorry I'm so behind, but I'm going to do a few more questions and then I'll finish up because it's getting late. I haven't eaten anything and it's warm. So I'll do a couple more. Who do you want to meet next? Virtual Riot, Skrillex. Well, I've met Virtual Riot. We played a show together in Indianapolis. Oh, I met him at the Disciple thing that I've mentioned multiple times. And what else? Rampage Open Air. Yeah, he helped me get into Rampage Open Air on one of the days I wasn't playing. So yeah, I haven't met Skrillex though. I'd like to meet Skrillex, I guess. I'd be like, what's up? Make more of Right In, it's good. Does anyone know? Okay. Are you going to watch Naughty Steps review he just put out? Oh, shit, yeah. He said it was going to go out. Yes, I will. I'll watch that after eating some food. I'm scared, though. I've got a weird suspicion that he's not going to like this EP. I don't know. You guys can tell me. I mean, I'll watch it and see. Couple more. What is a what the fuck moment you had while making music or at a show? Oh man. Oh well, the classic, man. Like the first time I played Lost Lands 2018, I got heat stroke. I got heat stroke because I was going too hard to Rusco. I was with Myro and the Mode Step guys, and we were just like in this UK team that were really looking forward to hearing some Rusco and some wobbly shit. Yeah, I just went too hard. I didn't drink enough water. No, actually, I did drink enough water, but I do really bad in the heat, as you can tell. And I got heat stroke, and I threw up on stage while I was playing my second to last track. So, what did I play? Yeah, I had Starstorm, and then my last tune was Evolve. About partway through the first drop of Starstorm, I was like, I gotta be sick. This is a problem. So that's a pretty what the fuck moment I had. And then, I mean, thank God it happened like right at the end of the set, because otherwise it'd be a bit fucked. But I think I got on the mic and I was like, I'm really sorry. Here's my last tune. Like played my last one. That probably takes the cake in terms of a story at a show. All right, few more. From a sound design standpoint, who is better, Virtual Riot or Space Laces? I think Laces is a little better, but that's just me. Honestly, I'm not a big sound design guy. Like, obviously sound design is super important, but generally with tunes, I'm kind of more focused on the like theming and just the general vibe and rhythm and patterns going on, rather than like what sounds are making it up. Obviously, I feel like the sounds have to be good and interesting, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really compare too much in that case. I think I'm more familiar with Virtual Riot's music than Space Laces, so I go with him. But it's not really a fair fight. I'm not the person to ask. Okay, I'll do 3 more questions. And now I'm getting loads of repeats. Okay, what are some frustrating moments you get when producing? So this is the third to last question. What are some frustrating moments? I don't really. Whenever I get like a tiny bit of frustration, I move on to something else. Like if I'm going, this isn't working, I move to either a different section of a track, move to a completely different project, because I've always got multiple projects on the go, or stop producing and do something different with my life for a minute. So yeah, but the points where that happens, build-ups I've mentioned before. I just kind of like, I gotta make a build. Because build is like the hardest thing to make interesting, really, because it always has to be sort of the same deal. It always has to build, so making that interesting is tough. But yeah, so yeah, those kind of points is when I have trouble. Right, number 2. What is your favorite food mashup? Mac and cheese pizza, peanut butter and jelly, Nutella. Man, these are very American mashups. I don't like anything savory and sweet at the same time, really, other than like bacon and maple syrup. That's passable. But yeah, food mashup. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, well, it's not my favorite, but it's an answer, I guess. The other day I was like, could you make, now bear with me, could you make a pizza in an omelette? I think it's greatly possible, man, because it's just, and then you avoid carbs. That's why I was thinking of it. But yeah, I don't know. I'll try that, and then I'll answer your question after that and see if it's my new favorite. Right, last question, because I really got to eat some food and shit. Oh no, it just went. Okay, I think I saw it. It said, at what point did you make your music full time? So I think when it really sort of like became my job was when I first started touring, which was 2017. It was the first tour I went on. I went on a big old tour of the US and Canada with Terra Vita. So it kind of had to become full-time at that point because it was just, holy shit, there's like there's a lot to do. Yeah, so that's when it started happening, and thank God. I was really stressing about like if it was going to work or not. I was very close to not giving up, but like I was going to go into like a master's for marketing. That would have been nasty, man. Man, I don't know. It's sort of like anything to like get me a job that's actually going to make money. That was quite desperate at that point, but luckily the tour came through, and I got interest from my US booking agent, and yeah, saved me, man. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna finish up. Yeah, he is answering the chat, but there are so many questions. I'm really sorry to anyone who I've left hanging there. So yeah, if I miss your question, please tweet at me because I will tweet back at you. I'll try and get back to them all. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
There's been a solid awesome. 130 of you watching like the whole time. So thank you so much for listening to me ramble about hot dogs and other bullshit.
That was awesome.
And
thank you, Harvey.
Thank you for
where can people find you?
Somebody talking in my headphones. Steve talking.
Hey, there he is. Thank you.
Oh shit! Sorry.
That was all good. All good. I'm over here. Hey,
there we go.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. Harvey, you mentioned that you had a Patreon. Where can people find that, and what do you do?
Yes, okay. Shit, I gotta get my URL up. Yeah, I believe it's patreon.com/ChimeTunes. Yeah, honestly, like if you can support me on there, that is like the best thing you can do right now to support me in my music and everything. Yeah, I do tutorials and all the releases in WAV format and that sort of thing. I've done stems for remix competitions, and I'm really open to suggestions as well. If you want to see anything from me, I'm like down to put that on the Patreon. So yeah, patreon.com/ChimeTunes is that.
Everybody go check out Chime's Patreon right now and follow him on all of his stuff. Follow this man, listen to his music. Our Flame EP out today. Make sure you grab it. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Again,
thank you so much.
Thank you for the chats.
See you
later. Tune in next week, everybody. We're going to be back with the season finale of Ask Disciple, Friday at 2 p.m. Same time, same channel. Closing it out with Mode Step. So we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, Chime. Always a pleasure. Man. We will see you soon, sir.
Cheers, guys.
Breaker.